Hello, it's Randi Rhodes. Here's a clip from our show, and go to randyrhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.
Mary had a little man.
The fault. We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream today. Change has come to America.
Believe it.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show.
Turn up your mind.
So I tweeted that Rick Perry should have to have an IQ test before getting on the debate stage.
Hey, sit back. I'll match my IQ. I want to match my IQ with some of those guys, with all of them.
He's attacked you for being ignorant. He says that if you're president, you'll make both our countries...
Let's do an IQ test. And I keep hearing about global warming. Now they'll say, he doesn't understand. Let's do IQ tests.
These so-called eggheads, and by the way, I guarantee you, my IQ is much higher than theirs, all right?
I guarantee I have a vocabulary better than all of them, certainly most of them. I know I have an IQ better than all of them. I know that. Governor Perry, a very nice guy. He made nasty statements about me. And then I challenged his IQ, which wasn't nice to do. And I challenged his glasses. What the hell are you wearing glasses for, all of us? I said the glasses aren't working.
I tell you what, one thing we've learned, we have by far the highest IQ of any cabinet.
I guarantee my IQ is much higher than any of these people. Like my uncle was one of the great professors at MIT. I mean, believe me, if it's good genes, we believe in genes, right? We're allowed to say that.
Oh, God.
You're a genius.
Yes, you're a genius, Donald. Now go do something. Get something done. Oh, my God. California is on freaking fire. The death toll in Puerto Rico has gone up to 45. Standing water is causing lepto. For all of you pet owners out there, you know what lepto is because we have to vaccinate our animals against lepto because it's a bacteria that well, when the dogs drink standing water, or cats drink standing water, or rats drink standing water, they get lepto and give it to humans. So we have a couple deaths from lepto now in Puerto Rico. He's out there telling us this is the calm before the storm, and what's the storm, Mr. President? You'll see, and he's out there challenging his own Secretary of State to a freaking IQ test, which, by the way, Mensa actually said that they would conduct the IQ test for Tillerson and Trump. So let's expect to see the results of that as soon as we see his tax returns. Yeah, I know. Poor Brett. He was praying as I was saying that sentence, and then all of a sudden I popped his bubble. I'm so sorry. Sorry. I mean, this is amazing. California, it's not just Northern California now. I saw wildfires in Anaheim in the Disney area. I saw them up in Sonoma. I saw them in Santa Rosa. I saw them, in Napa County. I mean, this is unbelievable. And the president today has decided to challenge, I guess Rex did call him an effing moron because he's challenged him to an IQ test. I mean, this is just unbelievable to me. What kind of a president is this? And he's attacking Bob Corker again. He gave him another nickname, Little Bob Corker, except he spelled it Liddle. See, now with Trump, until we get the IQ test, I don't know if that's a misspelling of, or if it was intentional. You just don't know because we don't have the results of the IQ test. He hasn't responded to Mensa's offer. So we don't know if that was on purpose or not, but he's saying that Bob Corker was set up by the New York Times because the New York Times recorded that conversation that we reported out to you yesterday, that the New York Times reported that they had with Bob Corker. And then the president said, that the New York Times is fake news. So the New York Times released the tape of the interview that they got with Bob Corker. And Bob Corker says to the New York Times, I hope you're recording this for accuracy because my staffers are on the line and they are. Jesus! But to Donald Trump, accuracy is a bad thing. Real news is fake news. Only Donald Trump's, reality world, which is completely fake and scripted, it's produced, is real. I can't understand. I mean, listen, I just want to tell you people in California, we are thinking about you. I'm watching these fires, and hoping and praying for the best. I'm sending my thoughts and prayers I'm not going to send the president. I'm not going to, because, listen, don't have the president out there. Do not do it. The man will throw paper towels in the fire. Or gasoline. This is all he knows how to do. Do not have him out there. Now, I don't think there's much of a chance. I just don't think there's much of a chance that Donald Trump will visit California, because to him, the United States are only the states that voted for him. Puerto Rico can't vote. Therefore, they aren't part of America. And California, I don't think he thinks you're part of America, too. And in this way, thank your lucky stars, because I cannot imagine the president going out to California to help you through these wildfires. I cannot imagine him doing that. I don't know what he would do. So everybody today is, Bob Corker. I mean, we need to explore this just a little bit, because this is really scary. Bob Corker is the chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee. Now, if Donald Trump is challenging Rex Tillerson to an IQ test, that means that Donald Trump is having second thoughts, third thoughts, fourth thoughts about firing Rex Tillerson. And if he fires Rex Tillerson, then and he does appoint another Secretary of State, which, in this administration, hard to say. We still don't have anybody at the Department of Homeland Security. We got the girl that got her degree from, an online school in New Hampshire, right? We have her, and she thinks the Puerto Rico story was a good news story. Remember that? It's a good news story. So, don't count on them to replace Secretary of State, but let's just say he does, suddenly believes, I don't know, that we should have a chief diplomat to avoid wars. Let's just say. Guess what committee would approve his nominee for Secretary of State? Foreign Relations. So that's Bob Corker's committee. He's the chairman. I don't get this. I mean, it seems to me like he's picking a fight with Bob Corker simply because he's not going to replace Rex Tillerson, or simply because he's a man-child. He's a baby. He's 4 years old. So I guess when Mensa gives him the test, they're going to have to, what do they call it when they grade on a curve? Right? They're going to have to grade on a curve because he's only 4 years old mentally. So I guess that will have to factor into his IQ. I don't know. But I mean, this is really, really sick. I got to tell you. Steve Bannon, Kellyanne Conway, this is what's so amazing to me. The president has called everybody names. I mean, everybody. He said Obama wasn't legitimate. He was a fake president. He was a secret Muslim president. He was, an enemy of the United States. He said the New York Times is an enemy. The media itself, they are enemies of the United States of America. Of course, Ted Cruz is a liar, lying Ted. Hillary needs to go to jail. She's, crooked Hillary. Lock her up, right? Marco was he was the first little, spelled correctly. I don't know, if it's an error. But Marco Rubio was little Marco Rubio. He said John McCain wasn't a real war hero, right? He wasn't a real war hero because he only likes people that don't get captured, is what it is. He has a preference for your service. He has a vision in his head of what he would have done if his heels didn't hurt him, and he actually would have gone off to war in Vietnam, and he thinks he would not have gotten captured, and therefore, he would be considered the kind of veteran that he could like. He could like himself. I mean, I can't figure this out. This is unbelievable. But anyway, he calls everyone names. But God help you if you respond to him. See, this is the thing. The president is an autocrat. The president is either very thin-skinned, and I've seen his skin, and it's thick and orange, and I don't think that's the case. I think that he's playing a game because that's what he does. He's 4 years old. And the president isn't allowing people to fight back. Remember, we heard from Kellyanne, the president's a counterpuncher. Steve Mnuchin, president's a counterpuncher. You hit him, you come at him with a gun. He comes at you with a bazooka, right? You come at him with a knife. He comes with you with a gun. You come with him with a gun. He comes with a bazooka. What? He's Tommy, is what he is. He's Tommy and Goodfellas. Stab you in the neck with a knife. In fact, Felix Sater did stab somebody in the face, in the eye, with a margarita glass. So it is that way. That's what mobsters do. But why is it not a two-way street? I mean, Bob Corker was very pithy, I thought, in his response to the tweets. He said, Trump said that, Bob Corker was what did he call him? I forget now. I mean, he calls everybody so many names. And Corker said, oh, the place is like the White House is like adult daycare. Someone missed their shift. I thought that was a very pithy tweet. I thought that was funny. I thought it was appropriate and an equal reaction, and I will never stick up for Bob Corker. It's like sticking up for Steve Scalise. You wish him well. I'm sorry you got shot, but the woman that rescued you happened to have been a married woman. Her wife and her enjoy many happy, evenings together in their home in Maryland, and yet he will show up at an anti-gay focus on the family event to trash gay people, even though a gay person got shot in the ankle saving his freaking life. And of course he was shot, and now, he's saying we need more guns. So, you can't really defend these people because they're indefensible. They are deplorable, just to quote somebody who's crooked, of course. But you can't if you fight back the way the president does, somehow your patriotism is going to be called into question. And I got to play you this. This is so rich. The real purveyors of fake news, the inventors of fake news dissemination is Fox. Okay, it's Fox News. They have been, disseminating fake news since, 1995. Tiller the baby killer, the pedophile ring, you name it. They have propped up these stupid stories and made them seem real in that people in this country thought, well, they're on TV and it looks newsy. They would never lie to me. But they are So Steve Bannon was on there last night with, the chief handmaiden for fake news, Sean Hannity, who hasn't gotten the memo that place is full of, douches. Can I just throw this in here for just a brief moment? They're going to blame Hillary Clinton somehow. They'll blame the woman, Hillary Clinton, for Harvey Weinstein's, harassing and maybe perhaps even alleged rapes. They'll blame Hillary Clinton for that. But they don't blame Sean Hannity for Bill O'Reilly's loofah moments. They don't. It's so interesting. They don't blame, Sean Hannity for working for Roger Ailes, who was also let go because he couldn't take his hands off of the breast. So interesting, isn't it? Okay. But here's Steve Bannon questioning everybody's patriotism, including the Republican Party.
The American people see right here. This is what they think about President Trump behind closed doors. He happened to tell the New York Times exactly what I thought. It's totally unacceptable. In a time of war, we have troops in Afghanistan, in the Northwest Pacific in Korea. We have a major problem that could be like World War I, in the South China Sea, in the Persian Gulf. We have American lives at risk every day. He tweets on Sunday that it's like the adult center and somebody didn't have the morning shift. And then he has the audacity to go to the New York Times and to give this
He didn't know that was going to air. He didn't know they were going to release that.
I think, by the way, I'm not sure that he knew it was going to be a tape, but he gave those guys an on-the-record interview. You saw that in the New York Times. And by the way, Phil Rucker, yesterday in the Washington Post, the buried lead was, he said, there's only 2 or 3 senators on Capitol Hill that have President Trump's back. When you want to talk about why there's no repeal and replace, why there's no tax cut, why there's no tax reform, why there's no infrastructure bill, you saw it right there.
Okay, so Steve Bannon, you cannot criticize this president in a time of war. In a time of war. I think Obama was also in that same time. And I think that they called him, an illegitimate president. I think they called him a secret Muslim. I think that they, these were the spearheaders, of birtherism. But you can't do it to Donald Trump. We're in a time of war. And only two Republican senators have Donald Trump's back, because the interview that Bob Corker gave clearly says that his fellow Republicans all believe that Donald Trump is unfit for office. They don't believe that Donald Trump's going to make it his whole term. They're not going to sacrifice their careers, or they're not going to take any tough votes for him. They're not going to do anything for him because they don't think, A, he has coattails, he has a 32% approval rating, and B, they don't think he's going to stay there. They think he's a loose cannon. They think he's nuts. They think he is going to be responsible for World War III. They really do, or at least they're afraid of it, and they don't want to support him. But I got to say, Kellyanne Conway, she actually has the nerve to question our patriotism for counterpunching.
Now let's talk about what's going on with Senator Corker and the President of the United States. A Twitter war yesterday. These two were once very good friends. Now they're going at it personally. In fact, this is what Corker says. It's a shame that the White House has become an adult daycare center. This after a Twitter exchange. Someone obviously missed their shift this morning. What a demeaning tweet at the president.
Well, it is, and world leaders see that. We've all worked with Senator Corker over the years. We thank him for his service, but I find tweets like this to be incredibly irresponsible. It adds to the insulting that the mainstream media and the president's detractors, almost a year after this election, they still can't accept the election results. It adds to their ability and their cover to speak about a president of the United States, the president of the United States, in ways that no president should.
The president is the insulter in chief. He is a hideous human being. He behaves like a grade schooler. He calls everybody names. He's got names for every single person he ran against. He has names for Rex Tillerson, he calls him out in a tweet. He challenges him to an IQ test, meaning he did call him an effing moron. The president has led chants of lock her up. He has, led the birtherism movement in a time of war, no less, right? He just can't take it. He just can't take it. And so they come out in this authoritarian way that they have, and they tell you the whole world is seeing this, Bob Corker. The whole world is seeing. Yes, they're also seeing his tweets where he says, calm before the storm, only one thing in North Korea will work. What is wrong with these people? Go to RandiRhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.